virtually. So we are getting ready to roll this morning, and we are happy that you are here, and we are excited about the presentation. Next slide. And we've got to exit out on one of our, is this on here? Yes, got it. Yeah, hang on one sec. Okay, so the Kauffman Foundation works with communities in entrepreneurship and education to increase opportunities that allow all people to learn, to take risks, and to own their own. Next slide. We'd like to welcome all of our visitors. If you would like to raise your hand icon, share your name, your company name, and how you heard about us. That moderator. We'll start here with the MEC real quick.
Sure. Is that echoey or was it? Okay.
Yeah. So we just have some people coming in. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Daniela Fajardo. The name of my company is Future Growth Paths, and I heard about you through the Small Business Association. Thank you.
Yeah, if you guys want to just come and line up, that would be great.
Got a camera up there, but right there. Hi, my name is Jason Baird. I'm a financial representative at Northwestern Mutual. Heard about this organization through a friend at work.
Awesome.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Josh Angulo. I'm one of the owners of Optimum Wellness. We're presenting today, and I heard about the group from Jen Dalton.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Kara Ziemer. I'm also with Optimum Wellness, and I heard about it through Jen Dalton, and I will also be presenting today.
Hey, I'm Russ. How you guys doing? I haven't seen you guys in a while. I'm with Vision Idea Design, and I just love 1 million cups.
He's not an
Jen, can you let us know who's online?
Michael Gordon.
Michael, are you here?
He was driving, so.
I am there. I am there because I relied on Google and went to Fairfax. I'll be there in a few minutes. But I'm Michael Doherty, and I'm 10 minutes away, and I own Any Lab Test Now, and I know Josh, and I got referred by Jen Dalton, and I've been at the Million Cups in Loudon, and I'm looking forward to this one today. See you soon.
Great, thanks.
Melanie?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Melanie Cunningham. I am a business and intellectual property attorney, and I heard about 1 Million Cups by John Rudenberg.
Who else do we have, Jen? Yeah. Gino?
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes.
We can.
All right. My name is Gino. I'm with Cloud Secretary, and I'm also a real estate wholesaler with AMG REI. And I heard about 1 Million Cups. I go to the one in Prince William weekly, but Fairfax is not too far, and you guys do it virtually. So I'm here today. Check out what you guys got.
Perfect, thank you. Darren?
Morning, everybody. Darren Tully with Freedom Bank here. I actually just saw Josh's Facebook post for this morning, so I figured I'd pop in and see what this guy's all about. Looking forward to it.
Perfect. Okay, Jen? Anyone else? All good? All right. So if you would be kind, check in on our website. You can use the QR code. If you can scan that, or you can go straight to the website at 1 Million Cups and then choose Fairfax and check in that way. We do get our metrics from there, from national, and that kind of helps us with finding out who everybody is and who participated, as well as, being able to reach out to you and welcome you to our community. Next slide. So this is our 1 Million Cups Fairfax team. We have our organizing team up at the top, which I am one of them. There are 6 of us, and we would love to have as many people as possible to kind of help us. We get together on Monday mornings just to organize these Wednesday presentations and to help, build our community. We also have our brand ambassadors who go out in the community. They talk about 1 Million Cups, and they invite people to come to this community and for some of them to bring their business challenges to us. So this is a national and local mission. We work towards the mission through creating a consistent educational experience for each 1 Million Cups presenter nationwide, while also highlighting the uniqueness and value proposition in each local startup community. Our key pillars here they are presentations, not pitches. We like to connect authentically and not by networking. This is run for the community, by the community, which means whomever shows up helps out the rest of the community. So we appreciate you being here. And we are radically and intentionally inclusive. So we have our sponsors, and we will start with our location sponsor. Every first Wednesday of the month, we do meet in a hybrid situation like we are today. So I would like to bring Eddie Hill up here for the George Mason University Mason Enterprise Center in Fairfax.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm trying to find the camera here. It's always a pleasure to have you guys with us. It looks like we've got a lot of new faces this morning, some that I've seen before. Mason Enterprise Center is a partnership with the City of Fairfax and George Mason University. We work with early stage and growth stage tech-enabled and tech-supporting companies. We're always looking for interesting, energetic, new innovators to work with. So if you know a friend or you've got someone who is thinking about a next idea, maybe moving away from a job, we'd love to talk with them. Thanks so much.
Okay, and then for our coffee sponsor, or that's gonna for Jen will speak to that with the Vienna Business Association. I need more coffee for sure.
So good morning, everybody. Great to have you here this morning. The Vienna Business Association is leading the charge on the Oktoberfest, October 7th from 11 to 7. If you're interested in volunteering, I think there's still opportunity. If you're interested in attending, that should be lots of fun, or sponsoring. Just check out Vienna Business Association, and hopefully we'll see you at Oktoberfest. Thanks.
Okay, just a couple of housekeeping. You know how these virtual meetings work, those of you that are virtual. If you would please keep your microphones on mute. When you ask questions, use your hand wave icon. One of our moderators will recognize you and call your name. And then if you could please state your name and then your comment or question. If you could make that short and concise, so that, and then go ahead and put your microphones back on mute. That way the presenter can respond and we can get as many questions or comments in as possible. We'd also like to share some quick best practices. The guests, we've already introduced ourselves. However, if you can just repeat who you are when you are doing your questions. Instead of saying that I disagree with your last point, let's be a little bit kind and possibly have that say that you have a slightly different perspective. Also, appreciate that, just say thank you if for your clarifications or your context. Before we begin our presentations, let's remind everybody to please put your contact information in the chat. You can also put your questions and comments in the chat as well, and the moderators will take a look at that and share those or call on you for clarification. And with that, I would like to reintroduce the team from Optimum Wellness. Dr. Josh?
Yes. Thank you. Let's get oriented here. That look okay? That look good on this screen?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Josh again.
And I'm Dr. Ziemer.
So I actually came here and presented to 1 Million Cups, albeit it was a pure virtual meeting. We did it on Zoom I think it was early February, and we're really excited to be back and to pose a new challenge question. Thanks a lot to Jen Dalton for coming up with the idea to come back and to do this again. We're really happy to be here. So I'll let you take away the challenge question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So our new challenge question for this presentation is, what are other ways to increase our visibility to partners and clients, specifically in order to grow our corporate programs?
So a little bit of background as we lead off with that question is kind of giving a little bit of background of what led us to this point and why we wanted to create this. That looks better. Yeah. Why we wanted to create the practice that we have. So we're going to get into the details of what our practice is in just a second, but really the environment post-COVID, look at us right now being in a virtual environment. There was a necessity we saw for mobile healthcare and healthcare that's coming to you at home. And it's also people right now are extremely busy. They're dealing with work-life balance. They're trying to have a family. They're trying to be entrepreneurs. Everybody in this Zoom call, I think, can relate to that. So our company kind of provides a unique offering and a unique structure to be able to accommodate to people to still make sure that we are putting people's healthcare first, and we're not just letting it be something that's an afterthought. And so we're going to get into more details about that and more specifics in a minute, but that kind of hopefully sets the framework of what this presentation is going to be about.
Okay, so our vision is we wanted to be industry leaders in mobile concierge medicine. Our niche is chiropractic, and we just strive to deliver the highest quality healthcare. And we found that by doing that, we can have uncompromising quality for the patients, which is kind of something that we found was lacking in our industry a little bit. And we provide highly educated, highly experienced, and highly passionate providers to each individual session.
Awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about our timeline. So I mentioned before that we presented back in February of this year. So we're going to actually go back a little further than that. We're going to go back into Q3 of 2022. That's when, thanks to our lovely brand strategist who's sitting a few chairs behind me, we started doing a lot of strategic planning. We tried to figure out what we wanted our company to look like, feel like, what we wanted to create. And so that was really when we really started putting a lot of work into this project. We really technically started even before then, but that's when it really kind of picked up some steam. And then in Q4, we did a little bit of a soft launch. We started doing a little bit of marketing. We started developing a little bit of SEO organically. And then in February of 2023 is when we officially launched. And from February 2023 until now, we surpassed our year one goal actually in about 3.5 months. And that led us to be able to expand to bring on the chiropractor standing to my right, Dr. Ziemer. And so we're really excited. And why we're back here today actually is because due to that growth, we now have kind of a new part of our business that we're trying to grow. And that's why we brought the question here to you all today.
Okay, so what problem does our business solve? Optimum Wellness is a mobile concierge chiropractic practice. As I said before, establishing a superior approach to new and innovative healthcare. So we kind of solve the problem, I guess, is people valuing their healthcare and their health, but also maybe not having enough time to do it. So we found that us coming to the people really makes it more accessible, and it makes it easier for people to kind of get back onto their healthcare journey.
So how we generate revenue. Sorry. So since February, like I mentioned earlier, we exceeded our 2023 goal in about 3.5 months, which was amazing. Our biggest generating revenue generators are mobile chiropractic appointments, and we have 3 different tiers of membership levels. One of the things that we really focus on our initial kind of demographic of clients that we wanted to go for were athletes, families, and executives. And the last piece, corporate programs, kind of became something that we didn't really emphasize right away. And again, that's what we're really trying to focus on today. But our biggest 2 revenue generators are our mobile appointments and the memberships that our clients are purchasing that are also including, their membership, or excuse me, their appointments as a part of those memberships.
So our position, again, mobile healthcare or mobile chiropractic company. So a lot of things that can be included within those appointments because they're 100% customizable to the patient. Mentions up there like some soft tissue work, of course, the adjusting that everyone thinks about, even some corrective exercises and some rehab can be implemented there. And Dr. Josh also does some personal training with some of his patients as well that are kind of looking for that extra something to bridge the gap. And we really focus in the DMV area. So Northern Virginia right now is a big hotspot for it. We have a few in Washington, DC, and then also in Maryland as well. And then we just found that this is really for people with limited time. And like I said before, that really value their healthcare. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. So, okay, our target audience, I mentioned this a little bit before, but our initial target audience was going to be athletes, families, and executives. And now, as you can see in the bolded letters there, we're really trying to focus on small and medium-sized businesses. And we want to start to learn how we can kind of incorporate ourselves into that landscape to be able to offer what we're providing, you know, in a little bit of a bigger scale, but not losing the quality and what we really care about and the reason why we started this company. So what companies, organizations could benefit from partnering with us? Medical doctors, other concierge, medical practices would be great. Sports orthopedists, we get some referrals from those types of physicians currently. So those are great, great partnerships. Sports teams, whether it's youth sports teams, professional sports teams, semi-pro sports teams, even your, you know, your average soccer league, men's league, women's league, soccer league, those are all our great partnerships. We're looking to maybe grow with some new partners like HR leaders and companies who really value their health and wellness of their employees. And then the last point on this slide is what marketing channels are you currently using? Doing what I'm doing right now, what we're doing right now, speaking events have been great for us. Lots of network marketing. We've been growing our website. We have a great social media presence, and we have some partnerships with some local gyms and a Pilates studio and things like that have been partnerships that have been helpful for us thus far. All right, so our initial outreach plan. So what we're going to start to do and what we have coming up, I guess, in the near future. On September 26th, we'll both be attending the Reston Chamber Wellness Net Night. That's something that we're going to try to do again, more of a network marketing, getting out there and speaking to the community. Those have been great events for us thus far. And so we want to really continue doing those. The next day, we're actually doing the Reston Chamber Golf Chamber Cup. That's a great event. I do a lot of specializing with golfers. I get a lot of referrals from golf professionals and instructors throughout the DMV. So that for me is a great event to go to. And it's just a great event to do some networking. We want to try to identify 5 companies that we want to pursue in the Nova market that, as I mentioned before, we feel companies that are really valuing the health and wellness of their employees. And then the last thing is continuing to do speaking and workshops. So we are hoping to collaborate with companies that have self-funded kind of insurance plans rather than offering their employees, you know, health insurance, the typical medical insurance, whether it's United Healthcare, you know, you name the insurance company. We're looking for companies we think in the range of 20 to around 500 people. That's kind of what we think we need to be or where our niche might be. But again, we're interested in hearing what thoughts might be. We're going to continue to research companies on LinkedIn and search for maybe 5 to 10 companies that we can try to set up one-to-ones with or do meetings with to learn what their needs might be. And then the last thing we thought of to try to help us with this current, you know, question that we're asking is we want to try to collaborate with some HR decision makers and finding maybe HR, you know, groups, third-party HR companies that we can kind of communicate with and see what their thoughts are and how we might be able to enter the fold.
So our major competitors, first of all, is other chiropractors, right? So more of the traditional brick and mortar chiropractors. The main difference with us is that we can really provide customized treatment plans, customized sessions, where you want it, what time you want it. So that is definitely the biggest contrast where most brick and mortar chiropractors see quantity over quality, right? They're just in and out, in and out. So we have the advantage of having a little bit smaller client base, but we can really spend the time needed for each person so they get better a little bit faster. And then competitor B is going to be mobile physical therapy. So that is very similar. There's a smaller, or I guess about the same size group that's doing something very similar to us. But chiropractic care can differ from physical therapy in a little bit different way. And then competitor C is going to be your typical like acupuncturist, massage therapy. So some providers do provide that mobile component, however, is not their major or their primary thing that they do. But both of these could be also a good part of growth for us in the future.
Perfect. Okay, so how might we be able to leverage our competitors to expand our business opportunities? Obviously collaboration. I'm a big believer in collaboration. I like collaborating and communicating with other chiropractors that specialize in things that we don't necessarily specialize in. So that's an obvious one. Same thing goes for physical therapists. We were just talking on the way here about a PT who does a totally different type of treatment that could be super useful for us. And we'd love to develop a partnership with her. Acupuncturists, another one, they can be great referral partners, and because we utilize them, they can utilize us. We're also looking to find other companies who maybe don't offer mobile services, and they maybe have a client who maybe this has been a tough case. We're struggling. We don't have enough time when the patient comes in to really get the results that we're able to get. Maybe we can collaborate in that way, as well as other gyms, health centers, et cetera. Those have been really good partnerships for us so far. So we're looking to maybe grow and expand into more.
Okay, so we'll present our challenge question again. What are other ways to increase our visibility to partners and clients, specifically in order to grow our corporate programs?
All right. I think that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. Good to see so many friendly faces
Yes.
in the Zoom call.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna open the floor to any comments, questions, clarifying questions for Dr. Josh and Dr. Karen. So for those of you that have any questions or comments, if you guys can do your raise icon, that would be great. And that will help us. So who wants to start first? Let's see what we've got here. Let me click off of this real quick. Reggie Owens. Sorry? Oh, Reggie. Go ahead, Reggie.
Good morning. Thank you for the presentation. Glad to hear that business is going so well. I had two quick ideas. One is a person that I like to connect you with. They do benefits packages for companies that are in the range that you talked about. And you know, they construct like customized sort of unique opportunities for those types of companies, and you know, there's somebody that you should definitely connect with, because they can introduce you to some of the companies that you mentioned. One idea that I had was so there are a lot of obviously, like, people are pushing, you know, return to office. So I thought about connecting with some of the commercial real estate companies as people are bringing their staff back in. You could do like demos and stuff to sort of show what you're able to do for these companies. Obviously, you're mobile, so you can come there. Like, it's something that could be a benefit to coming. If you have to come into the office, well, there's this new amenity that's offered that, you know, actually helps you out while you're there. So so just making connections with the commercial real estate companies that own and build buildings, of which there are a lot, you know, in this area. So that would be one approach to getting in front of more of these companies with your corporate offer.
Thanks, Reggie. I think that's awesome. I think that's great advice. I like thinking about it in the lens as well that you mentioned of companies getting back, trying to get their employees back into the office. Could be a great value add for a company, you know, to have a mobile care team come in and make it more appealing, I guess, to come back to the office. So that's great. That's a great tip. Thank you. We'd love that connection. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do.
Thanks, Reggie. Let's go with Darren.
Yeah, thanks. So just a couple things that I wanted to cue in on that you mentioned there, Josh. You know, first you mentioned that you want to look for, or you'd like to target small to medium-sized businesses. I was just wondering if you could maybe clarify exactly what you mean by that, because a lot of people differ, you know, might define small to medium-sized businesses in a lot of different ways. And I always like to ask that question because essentially what it sounds like you're saying is you just don't want to work with big companies, which I would think maybe those are more likely to be the type of companies that have the self-funded plans that you mentioned, or might have maybe more, employee wellness programs that might be a good fit for you. So I'm just kind of curious as to how you're sort of breaking down that approach, and if you see any kind of commonality to a type of small business that might be more conducive to what you're offering to their employees, or vice versa, maybe a big company, if you've had any success with those. So I was just curious.
That's a great question. I think for me, the immediate answer is one, we have to be able to have the bandwidth to be able to help a company. So if we have if we have a company that's too large right now between the two of us, I don't think we'd be able to accommodate. But to your point, I think you're also right when you say those larger companies, for instance, Capital One, they have this stuff happening already. They have massage therapists coming in. They have all sorts of benefits that they're offering. A company that large probably does have the funds, but I also would say, I think that a small company, a community-based company, whether it's like we mentioned in that slide, even if it's something as small as 5 people to 50 people, even though they're a small company, they might still really value the health and wellness of their employees. And maybe they're willing to come up with a way to incorporate this to offer it as a benefit. And also maybe they could think of it as a way to help retain their talent if they want to have a really nice offering to keep their employees around. That's my thoughts, but I think that's a good question. And part of it is we want to figure that out. What is the right size company that we're looking for? I think that's something that we're still trying to figure out. So that's a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Darren. And here in the room, we have Russ.
Come on in.
So my challenge, with your challenge question is you want to reach out more small business and mid-sized companies. Have you tried out more Office Evolutions, WeWorks, and different small entity businesses? Say that you're going to be on Thursday, we'll be here from 1 to 2 o'clock. Register your spot. So if you don't have people for the registration, you don't have to show up there. But there's an opportunity with the WeWorks, Office Evolution, and the different companies around. So
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To answer your question, yes, we have been in communication with a few of those different places. Office Evolutions. There's a one in Old Town Alexandria that the name is escaping me. I think it's called ALX. Just met with them last week. So we're trying to start to get into that. Because you're totally right. Those facilities some of them have like 200 different small companies right there in one roof.
say that you guys are going to be there for an hour or two.
Exactly.
Nobody registers, then you don't have to show up.
Exactly.
But if they do, then you got business. So.
Exactly. No, we think that's a great idea, and we're starting to kind of grow into that. Trying to figure out the logistics of it is what we're kind of working on now. But that's great. Yes, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I have actually a couple of things. I'm going to connect you with one of it's a web app. I'll introduce you to the CEO, and that's basically a wellness. There's a wellness with how to match there for people that are looking for those kind of services. So and there's a partnership thing there for referral. How many, and my second question is, how many of the area sports, the multi-sports youth organizations do you have? Like we have one here, Fairfax Police Youth Club has multiple sports, and get in front of those boards, like especially preseason when they're with their coaches, and then they have another one for parents. I'm a big sports nut. So, so I think that in those, getting them early and getting those practices, or in schools, because like when they have teacher appreciation type of things or something for the teachers, that's a great way for them. You're in their lunch cafeteria area for the teachers and doing something in there. Those are some of the places where I think good placement would be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate the introduction. I think that's great.
Yeah.
We have actually something that we've been working and doing a lot recently. We kind of felt like a derp moment when we realized it, but we can offer concussion baseline testing, and we started advertising that recently. We've had a lot of people reaching out to us. Not necessarily, we're not associated or in partnership with any like Fairfax County, youth sports, but lots of people that are in those communities that see our ads or see our social media, postings about concussion testing. That's something that could be really easily, people see concussion testing, they're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. That's a good.
Well, the CAO I'm going to introduce you with, she's also an Ironman.
Oh, wow.
She's in that community, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of recovery there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
that connection that I think you guys would do well with.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay, Bushra?
Yes, hi. My name is Basharat. I'm in the HR space. I've been in this space for over 10 years. My first experience where I think you guys would have been a great customer was at Pepsi. Although it was a huge company, I managed a local plant in Lynchburg that had just had 6 to 7 employees. So I think maximizing smaller offices of bigger companies who are in remote areas that's not maybe very relatively close to metropolitan cities, building relationships with like the sales managers or office managers would be really great. I also think manufacturing companies as well would extremely value what you have. Someone already mentioned WeWork, but that was also going to be my go-to. As far as co-working spaces, if you have a lot of friends in the tech startups places, they don't have a lot of employees, but they have the funds to pay for health and wellness programs. So that's another area that I'll highly recommend you look into. And then last but not least, healthcare facilities. You have a lot of healthcare workers who would, their companies would value, their employees would value their company providing sort of a service like this. And then last, I said last but not least before, but benefit vendors or benefit brokers, right? They open enrollment season in the HR world is already starting. It's already too late right now to sell products to a company. So earlier in the year, or you can start building a relationship with benefit brokers now, so that they can actually include their your package in their offering while they help companies shop for benefit and wellness programs. And then PEOs, you got the TriNet, you got the ADP folks. If you can get in touch with some of their sales peeps, I think that selling yourself as a supplier to existing organizations that provide this as a supplementary service would be a great go-to option for you. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
No, that's great.
Thank you so much. That's the type of information we're really looking to get out of this. So thank you. That's great. Well, I'll definitely reach out. I'd love to chat more about all those things you mentioned. So thank you.
No problem.
We're gonna go with Yvette and then Dan Lunder.
Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. I also come from the HR space. I do HR consulting for small businesses now. But I was just thinking more on the mobile side, leveraging opportunities such as companies that have health fairs, counties that do community health fairs, where you can bring your mobile vehicle there and reach a large group of people in the community who are, coming to that event. Meetup, if you go on there, they have a lot of healthcare, health fairs, events that are coming up that you can, link with them and bring your mobile vehicle there so that you can market your business as well. So just kind of figuring out ways you can show up. Even at the mall, they have those people who are there that do those massages, another large location where you can meet multiple people at one time to market your business. But great idea. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan Lunder?
Thank you. Hey, Josh, how are you this morning?
Well, man, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Before I started Golden Rule Home Watch in concierge, I worked in cybersecurity, and I worked for every company I ever worked for was based in California, headquartered in California, but they had a small presence here. So, and because they were in California, I mean, the mindset towards preventative care and health was different than, say, people on the East Coast. The demographics are different and the thought patterns are different. So, but there's a lot of companies locally that are headquartered somewhere else, and their HR departments may be somewhere else, and their marketing departments may be somewhere else. I'm going to talk about that soon. But I think you may find yourself interacting with folks in other parts of the country that have offices here, and those companies have a lot of money, right? So I work for software companies that had they were very well funded. And the second thing is, companies, we were always looking for new and unique offerings to offer our clients. So think about this, is it's you know, to get clients to talk to the sales reps for a certain company, they would offer things and services and things like and like that. So think about that as a way you may get access to other companies and audiences via the clients that you go to. So you kind of get a twofer. So because a lot of companies are looking for something to offer their clients, and so your service may be something that is attractive to them. And I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for that.
So,
feedback.
anyway, thanks and good seeing you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. All right, let's go, Mr. Ken.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have some questions about your business model.
Sure.
It sounds like initially that it was a one-to-one delivery business model, that because you are taking on the overhead of travel, you have to ask a premium price, and that you were looking for executives and sports performers who could afford that premium price. It sounds like you're completely reorienting your business model to become much closer to some kind of one-to-many.
Sure.
I show up at a site, everybody flows in on appointment,
Sure.
right? That major shift in your business model, I've got a question about.
Sure.
What was wrong with the first business model?
Sure. So the answer to that is, first of all, there's nothing wrong with it. We are not completely shifting and going to a super high paced or super high repetition or high volume sort of a clinic. That's not what we're suggesting that we want to do. We want to, first of all, that side of our business, the athletes, the executives, the families, that part is still thriving and growing, and we have no plans in stopping that. This is something that we're trying to also grow as a different kind of leg to stand on in a different angle. But one thing that is really important is that we don't lose the high quality touch and spend the time that we're hoping to spend with those clients. Even if we go to a, say, IBM called and they're like, we want you to come and see us, we would still not compromise on spending any less than 30 minutes with a client.
So as a follow-on,
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Right? It seems to me that the original model is infinitely duplicatable, right? You need a truck, you need a practitioner, you need scheduling, you need marketing. And you can do that until you are Jeff Bezos with a nationwide spread of your brand. And it seems to me that diluting your focus away from that operating, successful, profitable notion of your business to take on all of this other stuff may be a distraction.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a good thought.
Take it and
Yeah.
think about it. It may not be the right thing to do for your business, but it's something that I'd like to, poke you in the ear with.
Sure. No, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Here it comes.
Oh, boy. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank
Good
you for
morning.
your presentation. I took a lot of notes. What I would like to propose for you is a 30-minute consultation with me. Been doing it for 20 years and go over some ideas, different avenues you can use. Sorry? Where's the camera? You can see me now? Congratulations, you can see me. I'm just kidding. So I was saying, what I would like to propose to them, to have a 30-minute consultation with me. I took a lot of notes. I've been doing this for 20 years. So we'll go over different avenues they can use in order to grow their business. Is that all right with you?
Sure. I mean, we could, yeah, let's have a conversation.
Excellent. You have a deal.
Yeah, right.
This is the scene, by the way.
Yeah, I remember him from last time. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments we have? Okay, going once. Oh, Michael.
Hello, sorry about the crazy audio. I'm on my third try attempt to get to where you guys are physically located. I'll see you in 5 minutes. So Josh, we have similar, I think, overlapping business plans, although our product's slightly different, our market's the same. And can you talk about, to me, you've got economies of scale in trying to get to larger crowds. Don't you agree that they can coexist together? You can do two marketing plans at once. I'd like to know your thoughts on that, because I the onesie twosie is a foundational thing, although it's more arduous and expensive per person. And then as another shift, can you talk about, have you found yourself in the marketing your startup? Have you found yourself in the sort of the belly of the infinite beast of dumping money into social media without getting a lot of ROI on it in launching a medical service? I think medical and social media and ROI is a very unique animal.
Okay, let me answer the first question, which was having kind of two plans going at once. I think that that's something that is totally attainable and something that's realistic. I don't think it's impractical to have, two parts of your business that you're trying to grow simultaneously. I think that businesses do that all the time and they can be successful at it. Now, that being said, I also understand the point that you don't want to lose track of what's worked to grow something that isn't existing yet. So I think if you have that in mind and you can keep a balance of it, then you can grow. You can grow more than one thing at the same time. So I guess that's my thoughts on that. Number one. Number two, we found that social media, we have somebody in the chat today who said that they are here because of what they saw on our social media. So thanks for that, Darren. So I think that we found that it's helpful and beneficial. I think social media also depends a lot on how much you're getting out there and growing and as far as networking goes, because you could have a beautiful social media account, but if people don't see your face out there and they don't start following you online and getting in front of your content, then it's kind of a waste. So I think it kind of comes hand in hand together. But we found that it's been beneficial for us. But I do agree, it can be an easy slope to fall down where you spend a lot of money on it. If you're not.
Well, you had used the word organic earlier. Are you paying for social media placement as well? That was, I guess, my confusion.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot that's going on, but I think the social media content that we are creating is some of the best stuff that we have going on right now. So
Yes.
Russ, do you have something? Russ has something.
yeah, come on in, come back.
Another suggestion I was thinking of is like corporate gifts or real estate gifts for their clients.
Yeah.
Is offering that because
great
instead
idea.
of giving knives or cutlery or anything like that, getting an experience would be a great gift.
True.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a great idea.
yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
And then we've got one more here.
Yeah, come on in.
So how do you guys keep track of your logistics currently and how are you
Yeah,
planning?
thank you. Want to come there? Yeah.
And how are you planning on doing that moving forward?
Can you be more specific about what you mean by logistics?
Logistics, so how do you keep up with your clients when you go from door to door?
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot that goes behind, booking it, writing it down, as little as a spreadsheet where you keep track of everybody. And then when you do move into bigger ventures, how do you plan on doing that to just make sure that you're keeping track of everybody?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So great question. So the logistics on our end, we have an online booking platform that's integrated with our website. So a lot of clients that we have, probably 20% of our clients just book themselves online.
Mm.
They go in, they can see our schedules when their appointment times are available and they can book there. So that's one way. The other way is that software that we use also mitigates and allows us to have mobile appointments. So for instance, when somebody new goes to our website, they want to have an appointment, it requires them to put in an address and then it automatically tells me how far away that appointment is from where I currently am. And then I can go to that appointment. So
And they
that software is super crucial because then I can say, okay, if somebody booked an appointment, I can approve this appointment based on how far away I'm going to be from this appointment. And that's how I can manage it.
And they can automatically go in there and change their own appointments if they can.
Yeah, as long
On
as
the clients
yes,
to do that.
they can, and we also do. We do the majority of it, but some of our clients, we like it when our clients do it on their own because it takes it off of us.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good question.
Great question. Michael, is your hand still raised for another question or are you good? Okay. All right, great.
Cool.
Any other comments? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
for
you.
your presentation.
Oh.
We have our last question, yes, for you. So what can our 1 Million Cups community do for you today?
I think the answer to that is kind of a cop out, but keep doing what we're doing already. We're here for thoughts and to communicate and to get ideas. So don't be shy. Reach out to us. I'm sure our emails are out there somewhere. If everybody in the chat doesn't have them already, so please reach out. I think that's the best thing. Just don't hesitate to tell us what your thoughts are.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you.
All right, great. Okay, so next slide, please. So we'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. We've had a great group both here at the MEC and online, so that is wonderful. We hope that you will return again every Wednesday. We would love to have you back. Next slide. So as you can see, we have plenty of openings. If you have a business challenge, we would love to help you out. We would love to listen to you. So please reach out to one of us, or you can apply to present at 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. So we have some upcoming events. All of our events you can actually see at the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce website. All this week, if you are in Fairfax, we have Fairfax Restaurant Week. We have over 30 restaurants who are participating. So we would love to see you in the city of Fairfax and help support small businesses. There are also some weekly events going on. So we would love to see you around in some of the networking events and some of the entrepreneurship classes that they have online. We also, in the Woodbridge area, there is a veterans business pop-up every single weekend. They also have an open mic that I believe happens on Friday nights. But again, this is a great way to shop small and support local.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Sorry, the previous slide, you had an item relating to business performance dashboard. I think that's coming up soon. What website is that? Where is that event located?
You can find that on the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. So if you go to cfcc.org/events, it is listed under the events, and you can click on the registration from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so if you are interested in becoming an organizer, as you can see, we just kind of work together and see what happens and have this community. But it is great. We get together literally for 30 minutes on Monday mornings so that we can kind of get this show on the road for Wednesdays. We'd love to have you. And if you could follow us on social media at 1MillionCups Fairfax, that would be great. We would love to be able to share, and you guys can stay up to date, and hopefully you can share with others to join our community. And again, we'd like to thank you for coming. Again, if you have not dropped your information in the chat, please do so that we can stay in touch, and we hope to see you next week. And we're good.